Hello everybody, welcome to my channel, Ashley's Treasure, and today I want to work on something because one of you were asking how I make my hole reinforcers, and I have them all stored in here, and these ones are all made from a die cut that I have right here that I got. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different kinds, but there's other ways, you know, you can make hole reinforcers as well. Normally I always use scraps, and I try to get one about this size from projects that I make, and whenever I have scrap pieces I like using it for this and running it through my die cutting machine, but not everyone has die cutting machines. So I also have the special one from WeRMemory keepers, and this is what, like a 1-inch, yeah, and this is a really handy one too, that makes the little hole reinforcers. But if you don't have that one, if you have just like a little circle one, which are normally pretty common to find, pretty easy to find, you can use this, and then if you have like a smaller one, punch a hole in it. That's like kind of like an old school way of doing it. Like, here's some. You can do it whichever way, but you can push that out, and then depending how big of a hole you want, like I have this teeny weeny one. If you want one that small, you know, or if you want the next size up, oops. Whatever hole punch you have, you know, that can work too, or you can go the next size up. Or just the basic, you know, and that's like the same as this pretty much. But this one's hard to see where it lines up. It's kind of an odd die. Where'd it go? Here it is. And there's that one. This is just the basic one. Oops, that one didn't cut all the way through, did it? But there's always so many different ways, depending how big of a hole you want, you know. And then you don't only have to use cardstock, but these are kind of my favorite ones to use because I like the variety of different shapes and sizes instead of just the plain old round circle one. You can find these on Amazon. I'll see if I can add a link or not, if it'll let me or not, if I can even find these anymore. But I've seen so many different kinds. There's ones that are shaped like butterflies, you know, some as crowns and stuff. Yeah, there's so many different types, but I really like these kind of like basic shaped ones. Like there's a gear, the square, you know, they do have the circle. I love these little arrow ones and like these flower shaped ones. I like using these ones a lot. So these are normally my go-to ones. And so yeah, I'm just going to, I need some more colors. I only got some like tans and some light blue in here. So I want some darker craft. I really want some red. There's some scrap pieces here. I do have this different type of tan, and it's got texture to it. I don't know if you can see that. And then I want to get some black. I ran out of black. There's some more craft. And then I have some scraps of white cardstock, and I was thinking of using some of this and covering it with like book pages. I'm trying to find ones with small. This is from Garden Encyclopedia. This is some kind of foreign one because they are quite thin, and so I was thinking of gluing them on some like harder, you know, sturdier paper and then punching them out. And then I also had another idea of getting like washi tape, and you know, you can put a strip down and then punch out your hole reinforcers that way too. That's another way to use up washi tape. Some there. So now I can get some like purple ones in here. Just make sure it's pressed on pretty good. Now this one I might just use this one instead of my die cuts on this because of how thin it is, or how, you know, thin this is. Oops, I didn't press hard enough. I can fix that. And now look how cute that is. And I'll add that with my, oops, my hole reinforcers. Here are some from the other washi tape I just did. Another thing that I really want to try is doing wallpaper. You know, all these pretty colors in here. Sometimes I like fussy cut things out, like the flowers, because then I always have like this extra space, and I'm like, why not use the hole reinforcers or, you know, die cut punches, you know, to make pretty things out of, instead of throwing it away. Oops, I think I yep, I accidentally double cut that one. That looks kind of cool. It kind of looks like the letter O. It's really hard to see because normally the other ones you can see on the bottom. This one you can't, which is really odd. I think it's because of the circle in the center, why they had to do that. That makes it really hard to see where you're lining it up. So you kind of just guess and hope for the best with this punch. Now I got a yellow one. I was thinking like this one, like these pink tulips would look really nice. That pretty pink. This one's part blue. I love this wallpaper that I recently got. I love all the different colors, and I'm obsessed with plaid as it is. That looks like burlap. There's some, look at those, I love those ones. Here's some more from that plaid one. I love that. And then I wanted to get some browns and some greens out of this one. There's so many different colors going on in here. There's even some purple. You can even get like some red. But I'm mostly going for these greens. Punch this one, I kind of go sideways to make sure, because if I can move sideways, that means it's in all the way. Oops, I saw it. Where did it go? There it is. Did it punch through all the way? Let's see this little snack. And so now I got this dark green one. See, now that one looks like wood grain. Isn't that great? So use what you got. You can use book pages, encyclopedias, you know, pictures, anything really. Wallpaper, washi tape, whatever you have scraps of. See if you can have any room to punch some holes out. Here's some more wallpaper. I recently got this one. I got a giant roll of it. I just ripped a piece off, but look at all the texture and the colors in here. I thought that would be a fun one too to have reinforcers with. Like, look at that. Isn't that great? So I'm going to punch a bunch of those. So here's some of those ones. Isn't that great? I love those. But now I want to switch to my die cuts because I want different shapes in this, just this plain shape. I like using this all as one. You can take these apart, you know, separate these, but I really like it just having as one, so that way it's less likely for me to lose it, and that way I can just get all of them at once. If not, I just do little pieces in between it. But yeah, I got this taped up, ready to go, and now I'm going to put it through my die cutting machine. It cuts quite well. As you can see, I only had to run it through once and they're already all falling out. It's quite easy. You might need a pokey tool sometimes, depending how it turns out. Where is my pokey tool? Here it is. And then just poke them out. There we go. Time for a new one. But look at all these different ones. I like this one because it's got little petals. And then this square one has a little stitching around it. This arrow one is really interesting. This one's kind of like a flower too. Where's the gear one? Here's the gear. That one's got gears. And then I love this little like tag one. I use that one a lot. Which actually has kind of a simple shape. If you can, like, you know, if you just have like a strip of paper and then just make the fishtail to it and then punch a hole in the center, that's very possible if you don't have this die cut, you know. It's a pretty simple shape, you know. It's the shape of a little house. Alright, let me clean this up. This piece of craft paper didn't cover all of them, and so I still have these two open. So I'm just going to use a scrap piece of this wallpaper and fill up most of this one. I'm just going to add some tape on there so it stays in place. And now put this through the die cutting machine. Look how great these ones turned out with the wallpaper. Isn't that cute? I'm really liking this. And now I got some darker craft ones as well. And so now here are some more to add to my little stash of hole reinforcers. And then also these scraps pieces of here from the die cut. I always thought it would be really interesting if I like cut these off and then use these strips, you know, with all these holes or even these little squares and putting something underneath it, like little photos or something. I thought that would like be an interesting thing to use these scraps for these tags or these gears. I always like saving stuff like that, you know, always gives you ideas. Here are some black ones. I did the arrows, the tags, and these little gears. And here's some of the tan ones I did with that craft cardstock with the texture to it. Isn't that so cool? Okay, now I want to use one of these book pages. So I am just going to glue it on to a scrap piece of cardstock with my glue stick. Try to get it really good because there's going to be small pieces attached to it. Up, get my tape, and run it through the die cutting machine. I also think that all these little holes that you get out of it, wouldn't this be cool saving these for little shakers? Like, you have them, so like, why not use them, you know? Just an idea. And here's how all the book pages is, and I wasn't paying attention to which way I put it, and luckily I put it the right side up, so that way the words are going along with the tag with the way I would lay it down, you know, on, well, the whole reinforcers on the tags. There's this little circle. But yeah, I got all these different shapes now. I got like the regular one, the square, this little tag looking one, the gear, and then there's like the two different type of flowers. These are so cute. I love these. And then of course distress them and whatnot, and you can always color them if you want to. That's another easy thing. You can always just do a bunch of white ones and then just paint them, dye them, spray them, distress them, whatever color you want so it matches what you're working on. That's another thing you can do with them. But yeah, like overall, like they're pretty easy to make. It's always a nice thing whenever you're running low, you know, just get your things out, what colors you have in mind, get your dyes out or your punches out, you know, and just go to town while, you know, watching an art video or a movie or something, you know, to stock back up. Look, I'm like overflowing with these now. I got so many new ones now. So I think I am stocked up. And I will add them in with my other ones now. If you liked it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!